Hello guys, so in this video we will take a look at the database connections and the server connections. So as you know, when you create a new geodatabase, you create a file geodatabase, which is a geodatabase but it's saved on your local machine. In order to work on large projects or work on large data and make a lot of people work on this same data in the same time, you need to buy ArcSDE. ArcSDE stands for Spatial Database Engine, and that's one of Esri products that allow you to make your geodatabase on Oracle database, on SQL database, on any of the different database that is available for you, so you can buy it and host it on your server, and then you can put your geodatabase on this server. That give you the ability to have large amount of data that doesn't have any limitation in the size, and you can grow it as many as you want. And also a lot of people can contribute to this geodatabase at the same time. And when you have ArcSDE, you have your own database that you can connect to, and you need to know how you can connect to this geodatabase on ArcSDE using ArcGIS Pro. So the way to do this is you go to Insert tab and you go to Connections. You can be on the Catalog tab or the Map tab, it's the same. The Insert tab will have Connections where you can connect to ArcSDE database, or you can connect to ArcGIS server. And we will talk about ArcGIS server in a minute, but I need to show you how you can connect to ArcSDE on Oracle or SQL or any other database. So here in the Insert tab, you go to Connections and you select New Database Connection. And here, once you open it, you will see that you have the option to choose what database platform you are using. So you have Oracle, you have DB2, you have SQL Server, and you have different other options that you can choose from. So depends on which server you're using, you have to know the instance name or the database name, and after you know your instance name, you enter it here, and then you define the authentication type. It can be database authentication or operating system authentication. The difference between them, if you choose database authentication, you need to have your username and password given to you to be able to connect to this geodatabase, or you can use operating system, and this one is used if you are working in an organization or a company that you have a specific username on their domain server and you have a password, and you use this username and password to log in your password. It will be the same username and password you can connect to the database. The way to know what is the instance name and if you need database authentication or operating system authentication, or what is the username and password, you need to connect with your database administrator team or the database admin or ArcSDE admin, and you go to them and say, I want to connect to our geodatabase. What is the database platform? What is the instance name? What is the connection type or the authentication type? And what is my username and password that I should use to our ArcSDE? This is the way you can connect to any geodatabase hosted on Oracle, SQL, or any other spatial database. What I want you to know that once you connect to this database connection, it will look exactly as you are connected to this database right here. So when you are connected to any spatial database like Oracle, SQL, or any other type, after you connect to it, you will see that it looks exactly like that. You will have the same exact options to create a feature dataset, to create feature classes, to create the same exact options you have right here. It will be exactly the same options you have when you connect to an ArcSDE. So working on a file geodatabase and to know all the options that you learned so far in the course when you work on a geodatabase will give you the ability to work on any ArcSDE connection. It's exactly the same thing, but you need to know how to connect to ArcSDE, and again to go to Connections and to create a new database connection. So that's it for how you can connect to any geodatabase. The other type of connection is to connect to ArcGIS server. And ArcGIS server is a product from Esri where you can host your maps on this server, so it can be accessed on the internet or over a network. And you need to buy ArcGIS server, you need to host it on a machine, and then when you have your maps, you can publish it to this ArcGIS server. Same thing we did when we published our map to our ArcGIS Online account, because actually ArcGIS Online is basically an ArcGIS server hosted at Esri machines, and they give access to the public, so we can use it to publish our data to it. But you can buy ArcGIS server, or you can buy ArcGIS Enterprise that will give you ArcGIS server to install it on your servers, and will give you ArcGIS portal that will be exactly like you are connecting to ArcGIS Online organization account, but it's hosted on your machine. And some organizations and some companies, actually most of them, they buy their own ArcGIS server and they buy their own ArcGIS Enterprise in order to make sure that their data that they are using to create their maps is hosted on the servers that they control for security purposes. So for example, the military doesn't use ArcGIS Online and doesn't use ArcGIS Online organization account because once they publish their data, it will be on a cloud servers managed by Esri. But they want to make sure that their data is very secure and they host it on their own servers that they have full control over. So that's the difference between ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Enterprise or Portal. And we will discuss that more in details when we get to ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Enterprise section of the course. But here I want to show you the way to connect to any ArcGIS server, either hosted on your server or ArcGIS organization account. You come here to connections and say I want to add a new ArcGIS server connection. And once you click here, it will ask you what is the server URL. So every ArcGIS server is hosted on a server, and this server you can access it online, and you must have the URL that you can access this server through. And you might need a username and password if this server is protected by a username and password. So let me show you an example here. Here in this document that you will find in your course data folder, you will see that we have a URL for ArcGIS server, and this server right here is one of Esri servers that they make it available for the public that you can open, and you can use the maps hosted on this server. So if we open this one right here, you will see that this is the ArcGIS server that hosted at Esri, and this all the maps that available inside this ArcGIS server. So any of these maps you can add it to your map. Any of these maps you can have access to it, but you cannot edit it and you cannot delete it and you cannot make any changes because it's just available for you to access it without any username and password. So here you can open this ArcGIS server. You can see all the map services inside of it, and you can open each one of them. You can see all the details about this map. You can see how many layers inside of it, and you will see how many fields, what is the name of the fields, what is the extent, and what is the things that you can do on this layer. You can do query on the layer, and you can do query top features. And we will discuss more details about REST services when we come to the REST service section, but I want to show you that here you can access any ArcGIS server if it's available for public, if it's not secure, and you can open it right here. But what you really need to know in this video is how you can connect to this ArcGIS server on ArcGIS Pro. So the way to do this is to copy this URL and go to ArcGIS Pro, and you paste it right here. And again, if it's secure, you need your username and password, but we just opened this one and this one is not secure, so we can just say okay. And after it connects, you will see that now you have a server tree option here, and below it you will see the connection. And when you open this connection, here you will see all the map services that are available on this server, same exactly as you can see it right here. And you can view all the services from here, and you can choose any one of them, and you can see the properties for this service, and you can also click on geography so you can see how this map service looks like. But again, remember that this is coming from ArcGIS server at Esri, and this is how the map looks like. And you can choose any other map service to see how it looks like, and you can actually add it to your map and use it. So for example, let's see if I want to add this map service to my map, this one called aggregation of electric fueling. So I can create a new map, and I will just come right here and say add that. I will double click on the server that I'm connected to, and here I can choose the one that we just saw right now. I can say okay, and it will be added to my map. Again, this layer, you can work on it, you can do identify, you can view it, you can add it to any data you have, but remember that you cannot edit it, you cannot change it, because it's hosted on ArcGIS server that is secure, and you don't have the access to change it. But if you have access to your ArcGIS server and you have the ability to edit this data, you can edit it on ArcGIS Pro as well. So remember that any ArcGIS server you connect to, you need to know if you are a user or an admin. And if you are an admin or a publisher, you can do changes to this map service. If you are just a user and it's available for you to just view it, that means you can use it like this, and you can add it to your map, and you can add it to any maps you have, but you cannot edit this data on this map service. So basically that's it, how you can connect to ArcGIS server and how you can connect to any ArcSDE or any database connection. The last thing I want to show you here, and this is one of the new things that ArcGIS Pro give you, is the portal. So here you have access to your portal. As you know, we use our ArcGIS Online organization account to be able to license ArcGIS Pro and to be able to connect to our portal and be able to connect to our ArcGIS Online organization account. And when I open my organization account, you will see here that I have maps, that I can view any maps, and I have the content that show all the map services and the feature services that I published. And here you have groups, and here you have scene. So once you connect your ArcGIS Online organization account to ArcGIS Pro, you will see that you have here a portal in this content window, and this will show you that your content, the same way you can view the content right here. And here you can see the groups, you can see my organization, or here you can access ArcGIS Online public data. The other thing you need to know is if you have different portals. So for example, you might have ArcGIS Online organization account, but you work on a company or organization that they also have ArcGIS Enterprise that you need to connect to their own portal. So that means that you need to connect to two different portals. So the way to do this is go to here and say manage portals. And if you have any other portal that you need to connect to, you say add portal. You will enter here your portal URL and it will ask you for the username and password, and then you click OK. It will be added to your portals right here. And if you have multiple portals, you can switch between them by coming here and say switch active portal. If you have any other options, you will be able to switch between them right here. And once you do the switch, you will see that here the portal options will change, because it will show you what portal you are connected to and what is the content and what is the groups, and all the data you have in this portal will show up right here. So that's it for this video. Now you know how you can connect to any server, portal, ArcGIS database. And if you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.